In our video titled How Islam is Taking Over Europe, we explained several factors that contributed to the exponential growth of Islam in Europe. Now, Islam is the fastest growing religion and it's expanding also in the United States. Hey guys, my name is Leroy Kenton and welcome to another episode of FTD Facts. This is a channel where we love to talk about the different countries, cultures, and peoples from all around the world. And in this episode, I'm diving into Islam again, and we're taking a look at why it's growing so fast in America. If this is your first time here to FTD Facts, make sure you click that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you'll be notified of future videos like this. And whether or not you're an old school FTD Fact viewer or a new school FTD Fact viewer, hit that like button on this episode. So let's begin with the history of the growth of Islam in the United States. Between the years 1878 and 1924, Muslim immigrants from the Middle East, more specifically Syria and Lebanon, they started arriving in places like Ohio, Michigan, as well as North Dakota and South Dakota. So like most people that immigrate to America, they were just seeking, better jobs, better work opportunities than what they had in their homeland. And history shows that one of the biggest employers of Muslim migrants was the Ford Company. So there was a lot of manual labor work for them to do. They were able to make American dollars, send it back home to support their family members, as well as build a life for themselves in America. At the same time, there was a great migration of blacks to the north, and this helped the African American Islam revival and the growth of the African American Muslim nationalist movement that, of course, is still alive and existing today. And this movement hopes to restore the faith and the culture that was destroyed during the slave era. During the 1930s and 1940s in America, Middle Eastern Muslims, when they started moving in, they started gathering together into small communities and setting up mosques to go and worship. However, African American Muslims already had their own mosques set up. They were doing their worship practices. So that continued for some time. Islam started to grow a little bit by bit. And an entirely new group of Muslims came from places such as Palestine. And several years before that, many Palestinians migrated to the United States. This was after the establishment of Israel. Also, immigrants from Iraq and Egypt started migrating to America. And in the 1960s, we saw a massive wave of Southeast Asian Muslims also coming to America. And Muslims also came from Africa, other parts of Asia, as well as Latin America. Okay, so that was a little bit of history of how the growth of Islam really started picking up in the United States. So let's fast forward it now to present day. Now I'm sure we're aware of the many different debates about immigrants in the United States, especially when it comes to immigrants from Muslim countries. But to really find out the amount of Muslims that live in the United States is a pretty difficult question to answer. Even though it may seem simple to answer, just any statistics anyways, it's always based on an estimate. But on top of that, the US Census Bureau collects statistics for housing, population, business, as well as the economy, government statistics, and information related to health, transportation, education, etc. But it doesn't ask questions about religion. So there's no official government count of the actual amount of Muslims that live in America. However, we do have a pretty good estimate based on the latest data that's available. The Pew Research Group, who's a private, non-profit organization, they're very reputable. Based on their data that they collected, they estimate that there's 3.45 million Muslims that live in America. And this is based on the data from the year 2017. We haven't fully gotten the 2018 data in yet, but based on this data, we see that Muslims make up 1.1% of the entire American population. So not that big at all. However, despite Muslims being a tiny drop in the overall population of the United States of America, we do see that Islam is growing and fast. Of course, Muslims in the United States aren't as large as other religious groups like Christians as well as Jews, yet projections suggest that in the United States, the Muslim population will grow much faster than the American Jewish population. And by the year 2040, Muslims will surpass Jews and become America's second largest religious group, next to, of course, Christianity. They also estimate that by the year 2050, the US Muslim population is projected to reach 8.1 million or 2.1 2.1% of the nation's total population. And now this is almost double what it is today. So why is it that in the next 30 years, Islam is going to double in population in America? Two biggest factors, according to Pew Research Group, of course, one is immigration. The latest numbers indicate that there were a total of 38,901 Muslims that migrated to the US in the year 2016. And that's actually 46% of the entire amount of people who immigrated to the US that year. So almost 50% of those people that immigrated were Muslim. Immigration plays such a big part in the growth of Islam in the United States because 3/4 of Muslims in America are immigrants or the children of immigrants. Now there is another factor contributing to the growth of Islam in the United States, and that is the fertility rate. On average, the Muslim population is younger than other religious groups, so that means the fertility rates are of course going to be higher, more time to make babies, and they're having more babies. Now one thing you got to note that Islam in the United States is very new. Muslims since the year 1965 have arrived in the United States for three main reasons. And those three main reasons are, well, they were seeking refuge from the conditions in their homeland, as well as they're pursuing education. Third main reason, and this is the one that's getting a lot of the debates going in America, and that is that these immigrants want to advance the teachings and culture and customs of Islam into the United States. Although this number is a very small percentage of Muslims migrating to America, it's still a big topic of concern, especially with the Republican Party being in power in America, because 71% of the people who identify as Republicans agreed that they don't believe Islam is compatible with American values, and that's compared to an overall 42%. 60% also agreed with the idea that Muslim Americans weren't as patriotic as non-Muslim Americans, and this number was compared to 38% overall. As well as 56% of Republicans surveyed, they said that they'd be concerned if a mosque or some sort of Islamic center was built in their neighborhood, and this was compared to 33% overall. Now, even though the Muslim population is set to double in America in the next few decades, it's still gonna make up a small fraction of the population of America, especially when you compare it to Christianity. This is how the numbers look for the Christian growth compared to the Muslim growth. In the year 2020, it's estimated that the Christian population will be 252,970,000, which is almost 70 times the projected Muslim population. Now, in the year 2050, the projected Christian population will be 261,960,000. So as you can see, yes, the numbers are really large. But because of the growth of Islam and other religious groups, the percentage of the Christian population is actually on a decline. But still, even if Islam becomes the second largest religion at that time, that's only going to be like 2.1%. That's still nowhere near Christianity, although it's at a decline. But that's the big thing to notice. Christianity is decreasing, Islam is increasing, but there's also another group that really goes overlooked, and that is the people who are unaffiliated with any form of religion. It's estimated that in the year 2020, there will be projected 62,310,000 Americans who are not affiliated with any sort of religion. By the year 2050, the number is expected to grow to 100,860,000. So to summarize, the Muslim population in America is going to continue to grow, and in less than just a few short decades, it's going to be the second largest religion in America. But since, yes, Islam is very new in America, it's starting really from the bottom, but who knows how the religious makeup of America is going to look in the next 100, 200 years from now. Because in America, it's a lot different than places in Europe where a lot of people are converting to Islam, and although it does make up a small percentage of the population of Islam, we still don't really see that as much in America. It's estimated that 1 in 5 adult American Muslims were raised in a different religion and converted to Islam, and about the same number who were raised as Muslim no longer identify as Muslim. So you see, it's not really a factor impacting the growth of Islam in America. So that's your breakdown on how Islam is taking over America in terms of its population. It's likely that it won't happen in our lifetime, but based on these numbers, statistics show that it is growing. And the largest religion, Christianity, is at a decline in America. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about this. this, sound off in the comment section down below, and my social media links are below in this video description, so you can follow me, shoot me a message on Facebook, Instagram, and I'll do my best to reply to as many of them as possible. Like, yeah, I get a lot of requests every single week. But here in FTD Facts, you probably noticed that we started posting more videos. That's because the demand for these videos are just so much higher. So thank you guys all for tuning in. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna have some playlists that you definitely want to check out. Okay guys, until next time, stay educated, stay awesome, and I'll see you soon. Hey guys, so if you want to continue learning about Islam, we have a playlist dedicated to just videos on Islam. But if you want to explore other religions as well as some of the other topics we cover here on FTD Facts, we have a playlist for that as well. So click on something, keep on learning, and tune in every single week for new videos.